Hello everyone, this is Ben. I'm going to be making a guitar tutorial for the first time of one of my all-time favorite songs, Redone by Modern Baseball. Be aware, I'm not very good at guitar, so this might kind of suck, but I'll at least show you guys how to play it so you can do it better than I can. How's that sound? So, I have my guitar tuned in DAGGAD. All the chord sheets and tabs I looked up said it's in some sort of C sharp tuning. So it might be DAGGAD with like a half step tune down. DAGGAD sounds correct to me, but I could be wrong. If I am, just let me know. So what that means by DAGGAD is you tune your strings D, A, D, G, A, D. DAGGAD. Like so. So then let's just get into this. How about that? So this song is basically it's a lot of chords, but it's mostly shapes that you're sliding around. So it's not too difficult. It's just a lot. So you got like 6 sections of different riffs, basically. So that your first riff is this. Like so. So to play that, you have your index finger on the 3rd string from the top. That's how I'm going to refer to these strings because there's so many D's in here. I don't want to say D, A, D, because there's so many D's and A's. So your first finger on the 3rd string from the top, so 1, 2, 3, in the 7th fret, and then you got your ring finger on the 2nd string in the 9th fret. You play those top 4 strings, okay? And then you slide that over to the 4th and 5th fret. So you're going to collapse that shape a little bit. So your index finger is going to be on the 3rd string in the 4th fret, and your ring finger is on the 2nd string in the 5th fret. So you're collapsing that shape a little, and then you open that shape back up when you slide to the 5th and 7th fret. So you got your index finger on the 3rd string in the 5th fret, and your ring finger on the 2nd string in the 7th fret. And then you slide back down to that collapsed shape. And now this is why I use my index and ring fingers, because for the last chord, you drop your middle finger on the top string in the 5th fret. Like so. So then going through that riff very slowly, we have 7 and 9. 4th and 5th, collapse that shape. 5th and 7th, open that shape again. And then collapse it again on the 4th and 5th. Now drop your middle finger on the top string. And there you go. And that's the entire first riff. That goes for like 4 or 5 verses, something like that. And then you have your second riff, which goes like this. So that's a pretty simple riff. You're basically, I use these 2 fingers, the middle and the ring finger, to press the top 2 strings down. So you start in the 7th fret with your ring finger on the top string and your middle finger on the top string and your ring finger on the 2nd string of the 7th fret. Strum those top 4 strings, and then you slide that shape down to the 9th fret, and then you slide it up to the 4th and 5th fret. So you're opening this shape up a little bit. You got your middle finger on the top string in the 4th fret. You got your ring finger on the 2nd string in the 5th fret, like so. And then you collapse that shape again so that both fingers are in the 5th fret. And then I take my index finger, I drop it onto this 4th string in the 4th fret. And that's more to emulate some of that second guitar part stuff going on. And to further emulate that, and just kind of for fun, that, by the way, this is called a hammer-on, when you drop your finger on a note like that. But sometimes I'll do that hammer-on, and I'll do a pull-off, so you just pull your finger off, and then I'll drop my pinky on the 4th string in the 6th fret. and I just alternate those fingers. Like so. And that is the entire second. You don't have to do that whole hammer-on pull-off thing. I just do that to emulate the second guitar part to some extent. But it's unnecessary. That's just if you want to have fun with that, if you want to challenge yourself. So then that riff goes like 4 or 5 verses again, and then it changes at the end. So it goes like this. Like that. Okay, so then you just, it's the same riff. You go 7th, 9th, open up on the 4th and 5th, collapse on the 5th fret, and then you slide down to the 2nd fret. So you got your middle finger on the top string, you got your ring finger on the 2nd string in the 2nd fret, and then you strum that a few times, then you drop back down to the 5th fret and let it hang, because that's when you're going to go into the next verse, because it's like, when I thought about it too long, so leave the steady hands to Sean, 'cause we all know I lack. And then you go into the third riff, which is power chords. I'm not great at power chords, but I will show you what to play. Whether I'll play them very well or not remains to be seen. But anyway, so you got your index finger on the 2nd string in the 5th fret, and you got your pinky on the 3rd string in the 7th fret, and then you're muting. Well, I mute. If you're really accurate with power chords, you just play those 2 notes like that. Great. I'm not that terribly accurate, so I tend to mute the top string with my middle finger. Like that. So you see how you get. If you don't know how to mute, you just rest your finger on the string. Don't press it down, just rest it. And you should get a dead strum like that. So there you go. And then for that, the next chord after that, you have to make a stretch. And this is why I use my index and my pinky fingers to make that stretch. So you stretch your index finger over to the 4th fret. So you got a shape like this. And then mute that top string. And then you slide it down to the 2nd and 4th frets. So you got your you got your index finger on the 2nd string in the 2nd fret, and you got your pinky on the 3rd string in the 4th fret, and then just mute that top string. Yeah. And then you slide it back down to the original position, but this time you bring your middle finger down in the 5th fret on the 1st string, on the top string. Like that. So it goes something like this, and I'm probably not going to play this very well, but let's see how it goes. So like that. Kind of. Anyway, so, and then after that, it goes into this catchy emo part, I think is what the chord sheet said. Like this. So that's just a really easy riff. You're basically playing like an E minor and G. So you have your index finger on the top string in the 2nd fret, and then you have your middle finger on the 2nd string in the 2nd fret. You have your ring finger on the 3rd string in the 2nd fret. So you're going to get kind of this diagonal shape to your hand like this. Try not to bend your wrist too much because you don't want carpal tunnel. And make sure you stretch and exercise your wrists when you're playing guitar. And then so you have this shape, and then you just drop it down to the 5th fret. Keep the same shape, just drop it down to the 5th fret. You're basically going back and forth between the 2nd and 5th frets. And then after that, it goes into an instrumental part where you're playing the power chords again. And you play those 4 times. And then after that, there's there's this part where Brendan Lukens is basically he's playing a note and then he's muting. And but I think what Jake is doing in the second guitar part is he is playing this riff over again. So that's usually why I just play in that part there. After that, then you have this little riff. So that's pretty simple. You're going to take a similar shape you had with this diagonal part here, in that catchy emo part, but instead you're going to be using these three fingers. So you're going to have the middle finger on the top string in the 7th fret. You're going to have your ring finger on the 2nd string in the 7th fret. You're going to have your pinky on the 3rd string in the 7th fret. But now this index finger is free, so what you do is you drop that onto the 4th string in the 6th fret. And this is going to be like this is like a full A chord, I believe, in Dadgad. So you're strumming those top 4 strings, and then you're dropping down to a B minor. And B minor is the exact same shape on the 9th fret, but your index finger is going to stay in the 7th. So you got a bit of you're opening it up. You got a bit of a stretch here. And then you slide that shape back up to the 4th and 5th frets. So you got these 3 fingers in the 5th fret. You got your index finger on the 4th string in the 4th fret. And that's like a G chord. So it's basically... So let's do it slowly. So we got 6th and 7th fret here for A. And then B minor is 7th and 9th. And then G is 4th and 5th. And that's not as frenetic strumming as like the power chord part was, because this is a somewhat slower tempo part of the song. And then that's your final riff goes like this. Like so. So that, it's very similar to the riff you just played, but it's kind of opened up a little bit, and there's a string you have to mute. So you take your ring finger and you put it on the top string of the 9th fret. You take your pinky and you put it on the 2nd string of the 9th fret, and then you take your index finger and you drop it back down on the 4th string of the 7th fret. But now what do you have? You have this 3rd string down here. See that? You got this 3rd string that is open. And you don't want that open. You're not supposed to play that. So you take your middle finger and you just mute it. Rest your finger on top of it. Don't press it down. Just rest it. Like so. Now you take that exact same shape and you slide it up to the 4th and 5th. And kind of like how in the previous riff where you took the B minor and you slid up to the G minor. Not G minor. G. You slid up to the G and you had to kind of collapse that shape. You also have to collapse this shape. So you got your ring finger on the top string of the 5th fret. You got your pinky on the 2nd string of the 5th fret. You got your index finger on the 4th string of the 4th fret. And then mute that open string in between with your middle finger. And then the final chord is a different shape, also involves muting. So you have your index finger on the 2nd string of the 5th fret. You have your ring finger on the 3rd string of the 7th fret, and you have your pinky on the 4th string of the 7th fret. And then you're going to mute the topmost string with your middle finger. Like so. And then that's the final riff. That's the final riff of that song. And so if you've been following along, you now know how to play the entire song, or at least you know the chords. Now I'll play the song through so you know how those chords progress, I guess. And basically the way I learned the song was I looked at the chords, and instead of looking at like chord sheets like play this chord on this word of the verse, no, I just listened to the song forever to figure out when I was supposed to play the chords. So I'll play it for you, probably poorly, but I'll play it for you so you know where you gotta make your chord changes and how long you do riffs. But in order to sing, you have vocal cords that are moist. I know, I hate that word too. But that's very important. If you're singing, don't drink coffee or something like that. It's just going to wreck your throat. Okay, so I'll do a quick little cover here. She said, let's start from the top. Just rid of everything. Like the notes in your pockets, the text you're always locking. And if it's all the same, forget all those lines where you mentioned my smile. You got a lot of nerve complimenting me through choruses and rhymes, but I know how you get from time to time. We'll take this and that, oh, we'll travel the map, and maybe just for a while. I thought you were my redo, thought you'd change my name. I can tell by the look on your face whenever I would say, but that's when I would stop to listen or care about anything other than a plan of attack to get me back to where you were my redo. At least a pair of eyes that would notice when I couldn't conjure words, 'cause I thought about it too long. So leave the steady hands to Sean, 'cause we all know I lack the field of conversing correctly without shaking and queasily. My emotions get involved. Unless I know so in my heart, like so your hometown lingo. Say hands and strong, hands and strong. But now we're down to brass tacks, and we both know it. The odds are in my favor, but you won't show it. You etch holes in my brain, deep like you, always too out of reach to see clearly. You sink words to my veins, deep like you, too excited to get them out fully. I know I'm bad with expectations, the one's too large for any moment, but I can promise expectations grounded for this time around. Let's be the last to leave tonight, 'cause I need time to find the courage to speak my mind, to speak my mind. Oh, hear me out, oh, just this time. They don't think we can make this last, but we've got eyes that see past these nights. We've got calloused hands, but these arms aren't tired, at least not yet. They don't think we can make this last, but we've got eyes that see past these nights. We've got calloused hands, but these arms aren't tired. At least not yet. They just think we are young with broken hearts, stomping around every day. Let's stomp around, breaking young at heart all the way. Let's stomp around, breaking young at heart all the way. There you go. That's probably not the best I've ever played it, but it's not the worst either. So, I hope now after this you'll be able to play Redone if you haven't been playing it already, or if you wanting to know how to play that song, because I think it's a really decent song, and it's a great band, Modern Baseball, and they need to come back. All right. Thank you, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you loved it, if you hated it, whatever, just let me know. All right, thanks.